All right, have a seat. We're on the record. Mr. Bloodworth, I understand, will be admitting State's Exhibit 8-64D, a recording of a May 2023 interview with Robert Crozier. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. The state moves to admit and publish 8-64D.
Ms. Lewis, any other objection other than the one I've already ruled on?
No, nothing further.
Okay. State's 8-64D is admitted. We'll get that queued up now. Please proceed.
Robert? How are you?
Confused.
I imagine you are. We'll get to why we're here in just a minute real quick, but let me just get a little bit of basic information from you, okay? How about an address for you?
216 East, 350 South.
South, what city?
Your Honor, I'm so sorry, but you were going to give an instruction?
That is true. I appreciate that. Thank you for the reminder. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Crozier's side of this interview, this conversation, you may consider that for the truth, give it as much weight or as any as you determine it deserves. There are other speakers during this conversation, so the other side of the conversation, there may be 2 or 3 other people on the other side of the conversation. You cannot consider any of what they say for the truth. The only thing you can consider them for is to explain why Mr. Crozier is responding or to provide context for his responses, but the non-Robert Crozier side of this conversation is hearsay that cannot be considered for the truth. Anything further, Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Please proceed.
Seems like we've lost the audio now.
That's all right. I'll fix it. Scott, please give it a try.
And a phone number for you.
County.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
I'm about to say, I haven't been in Summit County.
I know you haven't, but you had involvements with people in Summit County that we're looking at. That's what we're here talking about.
What?
Phone number for you, Robert.
385. I couldn't even tell you. I'm so confused right now.
Okay.
I really can't. My phone's new anyways.
Okay.
Um,
Got to know your phone number then?
yeah.
Okay. So we'll get to why we're here to talk to you in just a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to advise you of your rights because you're obviously in custody here in jail, okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say could be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to an attorney, have him with you during questioning if you wish. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed for you before questioning. If you decide to answer questions now without having a lawyer here, you can stop questioning anytime until you're spoken to a lawyer. You understand those rights I've explained to you?
Sure.
Having those rights in mind, you want to talk to us today?
I mean, talking now.
Okay. So we're here to talk to you about a transaction that you made a little over a year ago with a female named Carmen Lauber that Nicole put you in touch with. You met her at a Maverick and Draper on 2 separate occasions in February of last year, so a little over a year ago.
Okay. It's not
Ringing a bell at all?
Not ringing any specific bells, no.
Okay. Well, let me give you a little more information then. So we've talked to Carmen, we've talked to Nicole. We talked to Nicole yesterday, got her phone and downloaded everything we needed off of her phone. You sold Carmen blues on 2 separate occasions there at the Draper Maverick. As a result, somebody died from that transaction. So we're not interested in jamming you up or anything like that. We're simply here for information. But we know that you sold those, and we can prove that through cell phone records and that kind of stuff. But right now, your information for us is more valuable than you being charged federally with selling fentanyl that results in death. Like, now you're in on some drug stuff. Do you know anything about the federal rules with fentanyl and 30s? And
I don't know anything. I know you have that distribution of I caught the 30 of them in December. And
The M30s?
then, yeah.
Okay. So tell us what you know. Like I said, right now your information is more valuable, but at this point we can prove, we know that you met with Carmen at Draper Maverick on 2 separate occasions, sold her fentanyl. That fentanyl is then used in a death case, basically. So we tracked it back to this point, but we're not interested in jamming you up. We're here to try and corroborate information. Validate.
I know
what Carmen and Nicole have both already told us. So you're in the position right now of either telling us what you know about it and basically not hurting anybody because Carmen and Nicole have both already talked to us and tracked it here, and you're verifying information that we have. Or if you don't want to talk to us, that's fine. We will pursue it federally because we know that you sold them the fentanyl that resulted in a death. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm not trying to bullshit you. I'm just kind of laying it out exactly how it is right now.
So, I know who Nicole is.
Okay.
About a year ago.
February 5th and 25th is when Carmen messaged Nicole. Nicole gave her your information.
Okay.
Then you guys set up 2 transactions at the Maverick and Draper.
Okay. Of last year.
Yes. So not this previous February, a year before that. It's been a bit.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, Bowen, sell quite a bit of this. Sell them quite a bit. I'm not trying to be a douchebag or nothing, so it's hard. Remember that much time passed. And do you have a number that she bought from me? Was it a quantity?
She said between 20 and 30 pills both times.
Okay. Then probably, yeah.
Do you remember going to that Maverick and Draper? Were you living down there at the time, or?
She lives, I want to say she lives pretty far away.
She lives in Heber.
Yeah, so like that was just where we were meeting. It was,
Where were you coming from? Where were you living at the time?
man, I've been living a little bit everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The last couple of years.
So it's kind of ringing back. You're
Yeah.
kind of getting a little bit more. Well, tell me what you can remember about them.
I remember Nicole calling me and saying, "Hey, can you be my friend?" And I was like, "Yeah." What's going on? And then she was like, "Oh, she wants a lot." And I was like, "All right."
Is 30 a lot for you, or is that a lot for Nicole? Or?
I think it was a lot for Nicole. It wasn't a lot for me, but
Okay.
I was like, "All right." I didn't know anybody died. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we didn't expect that you knew that. And like I said, that's why at this point, your information is more. We're not interested in jamming you up or the distribution of it or anything like that. We're doing our investigation. You're kind of just on the edges of it a little bit as kind of an involved player, as being a hook basically for it. We're not interested in jamming you up or anything like that, but we are interested in the information you have you provide to us
Okay.
that validates what people have already told us.
Okay, as far as I know, I met her just the 2 times. I think I talked to her a couple more times
After
but just to see, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, because somebody's spending, you know what I mean? You know, $500-600
is that what 30 would run about $500 or $600
Yeah,
so
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And did you hit her up afterwards to see if she wanted more, or did she hit you up afterwards?
I think I asked her one other time, and then she just didn't.
She's like, "Hey, you looking for any more?" or something.
Yeah, something like that. And she just didn't respond to me. You know what I mean?
Do you remember how you contacted her? Was it through text messaging,
Yeah,
Messenger?
But I want to say it was through text messages, but haven't had that. I haven't had it go somewhere the longest time.
What phone would it have been on?
My phone. Fuck. Maybe a 333-6156 number.
Do you still have that phone? Okay. The phone you have now is a newer one then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you contacted that Carmen at all through that phone or anything? Do you know where that old phone would have been that would have those text messages on it?
No, I lost that phone a while ago.
Okay. But what did you think the phone number was, you said?
385-333-6156.
Okay. So with these transactions, when Carmen hit you up, what did she tell you?
She just told me that she had a friend that wanted, you know,
Did she ask for blue specifically or fentanyl specifically, or did she ask for oxygen? What did she ask for?
No. I think she might have asked me for blue. I can't remember.
But you sold her M30s, right?
Yeah, I told her she knew what she was buying.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it wasn't like she's asking for oxys or something like that, and she got the M30s.
Right, no.
Okay. So
No.
she knew that there was fentanyl in those pills.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you remember where you got those pills from?
I don't specifically.
Okay. What else can you tell us about that? That's all we're here to talk to you about was that transaction, those 2 transactions, I guess, a little over a year ago. We don't care about anything else, but what else can you remember about those?
She was with the older guy.
you remember what kind of car they showed up in?
No. Well, I think one time it was like a truck. Like a white truck or something.
Okay. When you say she was with an older guy, do you remember about ballpark how old he would have been?
I don't know, 50s probably, 60s.
You thought maybe one time in a truck, but you couldn't remember the other one?
No, because they were in a car the other time. I don't remember what car.
Okay.
Like the first time she was in the truck, though, for sure.
When you guys would have shown up with the Maverick, where would you go? Would you go around back of the Maverick or just right there?
Just right in front.
Yeah. Just a quick hand-to-hand.
Yeah, just, hey, how you doing?
And you just said about $600 or so is what you would charge for those.
Something like that.
Okay. Do you remember, so I think she would have ordered more the second time. Do you remember the quantity?
I don't remember the exact.
But you remember being there twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really remember meeting her twice because you guys told me that there was twice. I would have said once.
But do you remember now that it kind of
Yeah.
jogged your memory?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of anything else about those meetings with her or anything?
Nah, like that's the only 2 times I talked to her.
Okay. How do you know Nicole?
There was a dude named Cam. I was staying with him, Roy, for a while. And she stayed there for a while, and then she took off, and then Cam's a fucking widow, and we all taking up one point or anything. So,
Okay. So Nicole just hit you up and said, hey, would you want to be with my friend?
yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's cool. And we were in the
Yeah.
apartment. Did she call you or text you? Do you remember?
I believe she called me.
All the time or just that one time? Or
I think she was like saying, like, she would take me like, hey, what's up? And then one of us called the other one. And
be
then,
like, hey, I'm Nicole's friend or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How long was your
Like, hey, I'm Nicole's friend or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
how long was your
I think she was like saying, like, she would take me like, hey, what's up? And then one of us called the other one.
Oop. Would you press pause? We'll fix that.
Yeah.
My apologies. Go ahead, Scott.
Out there, or drug court or some shit, wherever she was living. She was on, yeah, she was either on APMP or on drug court or something. I don't remember, and like, she had to hurry. It was always in a hurry. Like, she was like, okay, well, I'm leaving here now, so I can meet you like halfway. Can you meet me halfway? Oh, yeah, I can do
And
that.
halfway was that Maverick there in
Yeah.
Draper?
Yeah.
Okay. You said one time she came with an older guy. Do you remember if that was the first time or the second
I
time?
believe it was the second time.
First time, do you remember if she showed up with anybody?
I know.
Okay. Okay, I think those are all the questions we had for you. If we have any more follow-up questions, you want to talk to us again as we kind of progress with this a little bit further?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you talking to us, Robert. Like I said, we're not here to jam you up over anything. We're just here to try and get some information and
Yeah.
see what you
Not
got.
gonna fucking one day wake up with some fucking manslaughter charges.
No. We're not going to pursue that. Like I said, if you didn't want to help us out or anything, we kind of have this view right now that the people we're interviewing, we've got enough information and we're just trying to verify it. You're kind of either helping us out or you're not. And if you're not, you might, honestly. But all you've done right now, so we've already talked, Carmen's already talked, and Nicole's already talked. So you're not telling us anything we didn't know. You're not protecting anybody by not talking to us. All you'd be doing is basically rolling the dice with your future if you didn't want to talk to us. Because when the deaths are involved, the prosecutors do get a little spun up over it. And with fentanyl in the federal system, if you don't know this, if you get caught dealing fentanyl that results in a death, you could potentially face federal charges. It doesn't matter if you intended to cause the death or anything else like that. They're cracking down on it. So I don't know how long you're in for with. I know you're on possession with intent stuff. But if you are still dealing, don't be dealing with that shit anymore because the feds are coming down hard on it, and it's only a matter of time, especially with how nasty that shit is.
And both of them basically gave you my name. I was like, oh, we got a Ferrari. Nice.
Well, we'd already verified it through phone records. We already knew that they got it from.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like they told us anything we didn't know either.
Yeah.
We've been able to find everything we need through digital evidence, and all the contacts, all the messages on Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah, we knew all of that before we made contact with anybody.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were diming you out or anything.
Yeah, but I don't think me and Carmen even were friends on Facebook.
We actually were the ones that brought up your name to Nicole because we already knew that Nicole had put you in touch with Carmen, and we already knew all of that information.
Oh, okay.
So we're just trying to verify stories is all we're trying to do at this point.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions for us or anything like
No.
that?
Other than this isn't going to backdoor me here.
No.
No. All right.
We're not here to jam you up or anything like that. We don't give a shit about what's going on down here or anything like that.
Okay. I was just going to ask you, do any of your people ever tell you what they're going to use it for themselves, if they're going to try to sell it to anybody else? What their intents are?
Everybody that I deal with does it themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I do it myself, they do it themselves. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's
Did Carmen ever mention anything about hooking it up for somebody else or anything like that?
like I said, like she was just. Like, I met her twice, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I figured it was a long shot twice. You met her a year ago. I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
a bit of a stretch for you to remember, but
Okay.
anything else you can think of or anything else you can remember?
No.
Okay. As you think about it, if you do think of something, let one of the COs know or one of the investigators here at the jail know.
Okay.
They'll reach back out to us if you think of anything else you want to talk to us about or anything like that, okay? Any other questions or anything like that for us?
That's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyway, then. All right. We'll go grab the CO and let them know you're ready. Okay.
Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state